How old were you when you realized you were the son of a president?
I don't think anyone's ever asked me that before.
FX's Love Story. John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette.
I didn't think I could love someone like this until you.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy.
It's not a question of if I want to spend the rest of my life with you. It's if I'm cut out to be Mrs. JFK Jr.
FX's Love Story. John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Watch now on FX, Hulu, and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, so I did an extra a while ago where, and you guys probably remember me doing that extra. It was the last extra that I did, but well, see, here's the thing. I don't know, because I usually just be recording stuff any and every day of the week. I might record another extra after, but hopefully, so I think that's what I am going to do. I'm going to try to make sure of it that I don't record no extras. So for when I post this episode, then, yeah, you guys know what extra I'm talking about. But in case if I forget, then, no, the name of the extra, hold on for a second. Let me bring up YouTube. Because, it's because I'm recording this on the 5th. But most likely by the time you guys see this, it's going to be a little bit after the 5th. But anyways, the extra was called Fake Fan Turned Hater is a Predator. And the reason why I say that, so I guess to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the hate that I've been dealing with for 10 years now, bruh. Like, it's one of those things where I think about it and I'm like, man, I just don't think I have it in me to hate on somebody for 10 years, And it's funny because I'll say that and then my haters, they'll try to flip it back on me or, I don't know, like some reverse psychology. Well, would it count as reverse psychology? I don't know. Overall, though, it's weird how they try to flip things back on me and say that I'm the one that's hating. But it's funny because when you ask, I guess, people outside of the drama, like who's been hating on who, like, or I guess like where's the evidence gonna point at when it comes down to who's hating on who and stuff. And you can see in my content, it's funny how I, just seeing other people realizing that, because I think, who was I talking to? It might have been K-Huck. It might have been K-Huck, or it might have been another content creator, but I just remember when they were saying that, they were noticing how I didn't want to be bothered with these guys, and I say that numerous times in videos, like, hey, I don't want to be bothered with you guys, like, going about your business. I don't want your advice. I don't need your help with nothing. I'm just doing my own thing, and yeah, it's people like that, when you got something good going for yourself, and then they want to, I guess, try to take credit for it, and it's like, no, you guys ain't gonna take, whether it's the hating or whether it's trying to be a fake fan, whatever the case is, it's like you guys aren't gonna be able to take credit for what I worked for and stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, it's like actual supporters, actual fans, but none of that fake fan behavior. Nah, it's like, yeah, you individuals, y'all gonna have to, I guess, find another creator, that I guess you guys can try to manipulate and take advantage of and all that crap. But anyway, speaking of taking advantage of, so fast forward, I had to say maybe I started noticing this guy soon after I got into streaming. So yeah, for those that don't know, 2021, no, actually 2020, I almost lied to you guys. 2020, I got into streaming because YouTube was being weird with the guideline strikes. Since then, they have chilled out. But, yeah, back then they were going a little bit overboard with the guideline strikes. It seemed like it was like every month they was either taking down my videos or they were just giving me a guideline strike, or doing both, taking down my videos and giving me a guideline strike. But I got into streaming because I was like, I didn't know what was going to go on with YouTube. So I was like, all right, well, might as well, get back into, because I did stream before, but I wasn't really all that serious with it and stuff. So anyways, I started getting more serious with it. What it was like, I think I was playing like Apex and stuff like that. But anyways, that's off topic. But no, so this one of the racist pedophile fans, he for those that don't know, like when I do say racist pedophile fans, it's the fan base that I've been the content creator that I've been dealing with for 10 years. But yeah, the leader of that fan base and stuff. But instead of calling him by his content creating name, no, I just gonna call him a racist pedophile because that's what he is. So anyways, but no, overall, he came from that fan base. I didn't know that. I didn't know what the backstory was with this fan, but he would join my streams from time to time, make it seem like that he was a fan. comment underneath my videos, followed me all across social media. And that's the one thing that I started paying attention to with that fan base, is that they have like a very strange way of communicating with people. Like, they have some serious communication issues. And so anyways, he goes and the guy is just, trying his hardest to make it seem like that he was a fan when he wasn't. He'll go behind my back, make videos about me, talk about me on social media and all this other extra stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why not just be a hater? Like, I just don't get the idea of, like, you come to my streams and you say all these different good things, but then you go elsewhere and then you want to say all these negative things about me. And I'm like, no, I'm not with that. So I blocked them everywhere. Was all like, no, you can continue being a hater, but you ain't gonna have the best of both worlds. So anyways, fast forward. Mind you, this guy's an adult, by the way, so that's like, cause he actually has like the year that he was born, 2003. So he'd be 23 years old right now. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, you're old enough to drink. You're old enough to be focused on a career. You're old enough to be getting a 9-to-5. Like, you're an adult. You need to be having responsibilities. You need to be responsible in your life. This is what he's doing right now. So actually, no, before I even get into that, so last year, actually, no, it wasn't even last year when I noticed this guy. It was actually, I think it was a few years ago. I think it was either 2022 or 23. But there was this hater from the same fan base where he had it out for me. I can't remember what the reason was because I was going to make a video about him a few years ago, but I think I just forgot. I was like, there is bigger and better things to be worried about. I'm not going to be worried about this guy. And it's funny how, like, you'll say that and then they get offended by it. And it's like, okay, well, look at you guys. Like, that's why nobody don't want to be bothered with you. It's like you guys say and do things where it gives a person a reason to not want to be bothered with you. They don't want to conversate with you. They don't want to, like, nothing. They don't want no form of communication with you guys. So anyways, but no, it was last year when he really started trying to make a name for himself in my my platforms and stuff. And so, like, well, I wouldn't necessarily say comment sections. He was more so hating on me through social media and things, but it was mainly Twitter. I think he deleted that account because he realized that there was a lot of incriminating evidence against him and stuff. It was either he deleted the account or he got the account taken down because overall it was like he was saying some like out of pocket and crazy things towards me. And I'm like, man, it gets to a point where it's like, fam, this ain't even about content anymore. It's like, now you're taking it to a level where it's like, okay, if I do see you out in public, I am going to defend myself. So it's like, whatever happens. I could care less if you're a kid. I could care less if you got autism. I could care less about any of that stuff. It's like, if you are sending threatening tweets to me, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, because they got some disadvantages, I got to, just allow them to just do whatever and stuff. No, I'm going to defend myself. So it's like, however I defend myself, whether it lands you in the hospital or lands you in the morgue, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to, probably would lose a little bit of sleep because I'm like, I guess if I send you to the hospital, I ain't going to lose no sleep over that. I know people will probably be all like, oh, well, that's a messed up thing to say. Don't care. So when we're talking about this fan base, I don't care who I offend. I don't care who I upset, any of that stuff. So, but no, last year, and I feel like I have valid reasons to say that because so this guy, all throughout social media threatening me. Like I remember he did that. He takes a picture of a random street talking about like, oh, I'm on my way to your house and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not, because for one, you're a child. So I know you don't have no transportation. Again, still talking on the child stuff. You're not capable of doing damage to nobody unless you have weapons. But other than, I highly doubt that you have weapons, and I highly doubt that your parents will allow you to be in the possession of those weapons and stuff. So what, a butter knife for, like, I'm like, okay, so it's like, you don't know what I got going on in my house. You don't know what so it's one of those things where it's like, you pretty much will be walking into a, I guess like a death trap in a way and things if you are really that serious about that type of stuff. So, but anyways, threatening me all across social media, making racist tweets, start making like AI art of me and stuff, talking about, oh, TMossBoss is talking with a kid, TMossBoss is doing this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, for one, if you were going to make AI art of me, at least it should have been me. You just got a random black guy wearing TMossBoss merch saying like, oh, TMossBoss is talking with a child and stuff. And it's like, okay, for one, I guess people would see that is AI, but it's nothing like, let's just say if that was real, right? Let's say if he had an actual picture of me talking with a child. So just to kind of go based off of how the picture was, so it was me sitting next to a random kid, you know, like talking with them and stuff. But I'm like, okay, I guess like, you know, as a parent, what would you rather have? You know, I guess like your kid talking to their favorite content creator where it looks like it's a PG conversation, you know, and I know for the, at least speaking for myself, like I'm not going to have no inappropriate, pretty much the conversation that I would have with a kid, it's going to be the same conversation that I would have if their parents was right there in front of us and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I actually like having a career. So, but anyways, but no, that's a question that I have for parents out there is, would you rather have it where your kid is sitting down talking with their favorite content creator, having a normal interaction? It's not an interaction that I'm going to end up getting canceled for later on. So we could be talking about a video game. We could be talking about YouTube videos or Twitch streaming, normal conversations. Like I said, a conversation that you would have in front of your, at least a conversation that I would have in front of their parents. Or would you rather have it where your kid gets involved with this racist pedophile community and yeah, it ends up being a situation where they're the ones being taken advantage of, or they're taking advantage of somebody else once when they get to a certain age? I think we all know the obvious answer. And so anyways, but yeah, he was just doing all these weird different things on social media. So I can't remember if his account had got shut down or if he took it down, but eventually he disappeared. So I'm like, all right, cool. One less person I gotta worry about. Fast forward, yeah, maybe I'm trying to think because I can't really say earlier this year. I think I can't remember if it was. No, it was. Yeah, it was. Because I don't know if it was towards the end of December or January. But either way, regardless, the guy came back. The AI hater and stuff. That's what I've been calling him. He came back. And then, so the other guy, and by the way, the other guy that was originally talking on the fake fan and stuff, his name is NT Goat. So it's like NT Goat or NT Goatee or something like that. But no, I say that because I'm like, no, you guys need to overall know this name in case if you see him, because he was doing that. He was following other creators that I was cool with. And so just in case if you do see his name, make sure you ban and block him on social media and stuff, because I believe he is he's on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and all that stuff. Well, I know he is on Twitch because he followed me multiple times on Twitch, and I made sure of it that I blocked and banned every account. So, and if I haven't, then I'm like, I guess the next time he comes to my stream talking or saying whatever, it's like, yeah, it's like, no. It's one of those things too, because I know people are like, oh, what would you do if he came to your stream? He wanted to apologize and make amends. It's people from that community, you can't trust them. So it's like, it's one of those things where maybe once when he realizes how weird he's being and stuff, so overall, like, yeah, because I'm jumping all over the place. So he starts, like, you know, overall showing support towards his kid and stuff, having conversations with him and all that. And it just got me thinking about how the racist pedophile, the leader himself, you know, how he was acting towards kids when he's trying to recruit them and all that stuff. He's grooming them, you know, and that's the thing where, like, people don't realize that, people don't understand that, but it's like when you look at the behavior from that community, every adult from that community, I feel like them went down for some crazy, you know, grooming or pedophile, you know, situation and things, because you look at the racist pedophile leader himself, he had some inappropriate, yeah, he had it where a kid drew inappropriate art of Jade Animations, had a kid draw inappropriate art of her for him, then his editor, he got called out for having inappropriate conversations with minors, then he sits around and does a video where he's defending a pedophile. So my thing is this, right? Why, I guess, all of a sudden with this guy that is an adult and he knows that this guy is a kid, you could just, and I know people will probably ask that question, how do you know that the AI hater is a kid? You could just tell by the way that he acts and talks in the content that he posts that it's either he's a kid or he's an adult with mental issues, one of the two. But still, I look at it as like you're taking advantage of this kid. Like you're trying to hype this kid up, gas him up. Like at the end of the day, if you hate me. But it's like that's something that needs to be coming from you, not something that you're, oh, let me just push it off on some innocent. Well, I wouldn't really say he's innocent, but overall push it off on some kid and let him do the dirty work and things. But at the same time too, it's like you got to sit down and think about it. It's like, you know, you're having this conversation with him about me. what other conversations are you having? And that's why I was like, that's why I did that extra. But I'm like, nah, man, this requires an episode. This needs to be longer. It needs to be one of those things where I'm like, I might not be able to be the person to shut this guy down and this community, but at least I want to raise the suspicion and let people know, like, yes, the leader himself, he ain't the only one that's, you know, doing some predatorial activities and stuff. No, everybody. I had to say, I think anybody that's over the age of 18 within that community, they are definitely on some predatorial behavior where it's like you're trying to push off your dirty work on a kid. And then that was another thing too, because I'm like, it wasn't really like no predatorial stuff, but still, it's one of those things where I'm like, I just find that so odd. But if you guys remember the one that was pretending to be suicidal, I remember for the longest they were trying to say that she was a kid. Turns out she was a 30-something-year-old woman. I believe she's older than me. So, and it's crazy how nobody had called her out on that. Nobody called her out on pretending to be a child, because it's like, why are you pretending to be a child? Like, why can't it ain't like your identity is going to be shown. It ain't like people are going to know who you are. Why are you pretending to be a child? So it's definitely more than just the leader himself, the racist pedophile himself, that's doing some predatorial behavior. I think it's, like I say, anybody over the age of 18 within that community, they all doing some predatorial behavior, all right? Because my thing is this, if not, prove me wrong. I'm like, prove to me that you guys aren't. But as far as I'm seeing it with just everything that I talked on, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, I might not be the one to expose you guys, but I definitely want to be the ones to raise the suspicion of you guys doing some predatorial behavior and stuff. So, but yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to let the, internet take its course and expose these guys. Expose these guys on the behavior that they're letting out there and stuff, because it's just one of those things where it's like you're influencing a lot of different, because like, and that's the thing too, where it's funny. I just remember where the racist pedophile leader himself, he was talking about that, how he don't like 12-year-old kids or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why would you come out and say that? Like, what? I guess like what is the context behind that? Like, you know, like what did a 12-year-old kid do to you? But like, what, you like kids under the age of 12 and over the age of 12, or I guess like up until that point where it's like, you know, they become an adult and things. Like, what's the, like, you don't give no explanation on that. You just come out and say, oh, I don't like 12-year-old kids and stuff. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, nah, man. It's just, then the other thing where he was, if I see a 16-year-old girl at a swimming pool, I start getting wild ideas and stuff, and I'm like, nah, man, you can't beat the allegations. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where we it might be a while, but I feel like we definitely gonna see a Epstein file of this guy, and that just overall that whole community and stuff. Because nah, man, that community, they're definitely on some predatorial behavior and stuff. So anyways, with that being said, like I said, I might not be the one to expose them, but I definitely want to be the one to raise the suspicion. So yeah, if you guys, whether you're a former fan, current fan, if you notice anything weird, no, feel free to comment it. I feel like, yeah, maybe if it's a current fan, they're probably not going to. They were like, no, I don't care. It's like, and it's definitely going to be one where if they probably are over the age of 18, they're all like, oh, I didn't realize I had that type of power and stuff. So yeah, I just look at it as like, you know, if they are a current fan, they're not going to come out and talk about it. And it's like, yeah, you're just furthermore proving my point. But overall, though, there is kind of evidence out there already. I mean, from the victim that the racist pedophile, not him, but his editor, there was his victim. He came out and talked about it on video. What else? I feel like, yeah, they just, with all the evidence that came out over the past year and stuff, like, well, like late 2024 and then throughout 2025, all the different stuff that was coming out. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where, and it's just, to me, I find it's just so weird where it's like anytime when they do talk on the racist pedophile leader himself, like his fans and things, like that's just one thing that they don't talk on. That's one thing that they don't try. They don't have no answers for it, because it's like, it's the truth. You know, it's like I said, if it's not the truth, then prove to me that it's not the truth. But until then, it's like, that's how I'm going to look at it. Any and everybody within that that community that's over the age of 18, they are 100% predator, groomer, pedophile, whatever name you want to call it. They definitely there. If they don't want to, I guess, have that title, you guys are definitely showing traits of that behavior and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.